Hi friends, welcome back to our chapter reading. Today we are continuing with Snow Day. This book is by Marsha Thornton Jones and Debbie Dady, and the illustrator that makes the pictures is Amy Woomer. So we are picking up today in chapter 7. It's called No Picnic. Stop all that racket, Sweetcakes growled at Bubba and me. How's a dog supposed to get any sleep around here? Bubba dropped my tail out of his mouth, which was a big relief to me. Sorry, Sweetcakes, Bubba said. I was just having a little fun. Sweetcakes bared her teeth. If it was up to me, I would have left you all out in the cold tonight. Not me, though, Clyde panted beside Sweetcakes. Right? There's a picture of Sweetcakes being mean to the other doggies. All of you, Sweetcakes growled, showing one of her yellow choppers. The only way I'll get any rest is to get rid of all of you. Clyde whined and backed away from Sweetcakes. I felt a little sorry for Clyde. It must be tough to find out your best friend doesn't care if you get rolled into a giant snowball. Floyd dropped the rubber reindeer he'd been chewing on and looked up at Sweetcakes. It's freezing out there. Surely you wouldn't kick a dog out into that snowstorm. As long as I had enough kibble and a warm blanket, I wouldn't care who was out in the storm, Sweetcakes said. I knew she meant it too. Sweetcakes only cared about one thing, herself. All this dog fussing makes me tired, Woodrow said. Let's get some rest. There's Sweetcakes, still being mean, doesn't care about any other dog except for herself. Woodrow is right, Floyd said. Only it sounded like woof, woof, right, because he was chewing on the reindeer again. We all sniffed around and found good spots. I turned 3 times and settled down on a blue furry mat. Bubba snuggled in beside me, and Blondie found a rug spot not far away. There they are, in their nice cozy spot they found. Everything was quite cozy until Fred spoiled it. He popped his head inside the door and yelled, "Okay, pups, let's head outside for one more round of exercise." Woodrow groaned. "Do we have to?" he mumbled from under a long floppy ear. Fred seemed to understand dog speak. He nodded his head. "Come on, one more time and then we'll call it a night." He held open the door and a blast of cold air rushed inside the room. Casanova, Bubba, and Floyd bounded outside. The rest of us dogs followed slowly. We knew this exercise wasn't going to be a picnic in the park, and we weren't wrong. Chapter 8, Ghost Story. The snow fell so fast the play yard looked like it was a giant fluffy pillow. Just the thought made me yawn. All I wanted to do was get back inside fast to get warm. Fred let us out for only a few minutes, but it seemed like a lifetime. By the time we got inside, everyone had frost on their nose and toes. I had to laugh at Woodrow. His ears dragged on the ground and the bottoms were solid white. It looked like he had dipped his ears in white paint. It does look like he dipped his ears in white paint, doesn't it? You can see it on the end of his ears, and he's got it on the top of his head. Shake, shake, roll, roll. It was the same all over the big sleeping room. Dogs and pups rolled and shook to get dry. How about a late night treat? Fred asked. No dog, no matter how calm or cool, can resist a treat. We all hopped around Fred like crazed Easter bunnies. Treat, treat, Casanova whined. A nice treat in my tummy was just the thing. Fred turned out the lights, and I was ready to snooze. I found my blue mat again and was about to nod off when Floyd started talking. When my humans have a sleepover, they always tell ghost stories. Ghost stories? Blondie asked. I'm not sure that's such a good idea. Floyd barked. Oh, it's great fun. The humans scream when it's over and pull the covers over their heads. That doesn't sound like fun to me, Woodrow said as he put his head down. Humans are strange sometimes, Casanova grunted. I had to agree. Sometimes my human Maggie did the strangest things. One time she gave me a whole ham sandwich just because it fell on the floor. Let me tell you, a little dirt never hurt a good ham sandwich. Floyd couldn't be stopped. He had to tell a ghost story, so he did. Here they are. They're all ready to go to sleep or start telling ghost stories. One night, a long time ago, there was a full moon. A pretty white poodle met his tall, handsome hound. They fell in love and married. The funny thing was, the hound would never take a bath. Now the poodle was quite dainty, and soon the dirty hound smell bothered her. "You have to take a bath," she told him. The hound hung his head. "I can't," he told the poodle, but he refused to tell her why. One night, when there was another full moon, the poodle decided to take things into her own paws. She would give the hound a bath while he slept. Very quietly, she got warm water and shampoo. Then she set about taking off the hound's collar. It was old and rusty, for he never removed it. The poodle was almost ready to give up when the collar snapped off. Floyd paused and the room was silent, except for the snoring of a few dogs. Casanova squeaked, "Don't stop now! What happened next?" When the collar came off, the hound turned into a ghost dog. "That collar was pure magic, keeping him alive," Floyd said. Blondie gasped, and I scratched my neck just to make sure my collar was in its place. There's Blondie. I think Blondie's getting a little scared. The poor poodle never got over that shock, Floyd continued, and after that, she never took a bath again. If you ever run into a stinky, smelly poodle, you'll know that's the one. I knew it was a made-up story, but now I didn't know if I could sleep. What if Blondie came over and tried to take my collar off? The whole thing gave me the shivers. "That's a great story," Casanova told Floyd. "Tell us another one." There's the wonder dog. He's a little nervous. I shook my head. Nope, it's time to be quiet. After all, Bubba's a young pup. I wouldn't want him to have nightmares. Good idea, Woodrow grunted. Good night, Jack. Good night, Woodrow and Floyd. Good night, Blondie, I said. Good night, everyone, Blondie said. Good night, Jack, Casanova said. Good night, Casanova. Good night, Bubba, I said. There was silence. Bubba? I said. I opened my eyes and looked around in the dark. The hair on the back of my neck stood up. Something was wrong. Where was Bubba? All right, that's all for today. Join me back next time when we find out where Bubba disappeared to. Bye, friends.